All right, everybody. Well, as you may know, we have a test coming up in week 5. Um, Specifically, we're going to have it on Thursday, September 30th. Okay. This test can be taken at home. It will be available on e-learning on that day. You need to take it sometime between 8 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. Okay, so you'll have basically the whole day to uh, to do the test. However, once you enter the test, you're going to have about a 3-hour window. You're going to have a 3-hour window, um, a 3-hour time limit. That 3 hours includes what I would recommend to be 2 hours to take the test, and then 1 hour to um, take your picture of the test, get it converted into a PDF, and upload it into e-learning. Now, I don't think that's really going to take an hour for anybody, but plan on that. If you have some technical issues or some upload issues, do plan for an hour there to make sure to fix things and get things set up the way you need them to. Okay, so my recommendation is 2 hours to take the test, 1 hour to submit it. Okay, don't try to finish the test right at 11:59 p.m. or 11:50 even, and expect to be able to submit it on time. All right, you're probably not going to get it turned in. Make sure that you get it submitted by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday the 30th, within a 3-hour window from when you start the test. Again, you're going to need to take a picture of the test. So you're going to do it by hand. Take a picture of your work and then convert that to a PDF. So a couple little details here that really need to be stressed. The first thing is, when you take the test, you can either print the test on paper and then write on the test. If you don't have the capability of printing, that's okay. What I need you to do then is just write your solutions on a separate sheet of paper. It could be a blank sheet, lined sheet, unlined, graph, it doesn't matter. Just a separate sheet of paper. Write your solutions. Keep them, if you can, in the order in which they occur on the test. And in fact, it's even better to keep them on the same page. Keep the questions grouped together by page. Okay, so if the first page of the test that I give you has, say, questions 1 through 5 on it, put questions 1 through 5 on a single sheet of paper. Okay, don't bleed question 5 onto the next page if you can help it. All right, and don't add question 6 to that first page, because that throws things off. When I grade these things, I tend to grade them page by page, and it just works a lot better if you have them grouped together consistently with how they're presented to you on the test. Okay, but ideally, if you can print it off, and then everything is nice and organized that way. Okay, not required, but that's the ideal situation. Okay, you do need to submit an electronic copy on e-learning. Now, if you're not real familiar on how to do this, there's some options. Some of you have iPhones. If you have an iPhone, there's an app called Notes that seems to work very well for students. I don't have an iPhone, so I can't really sell you on this very well. But Notes does tend to be an appropriate app. If you have an Android phone, or even if you have an Apple phone, there's another app that I have on my phone that I really like. It's called Cam Scanner, right? And Cam Scanner really renders an image that's very nice. It takes shadows out, it orients the page nicely, it doesn't give you a background junk when you take the picture. Okay, so it edits it automatically, does a very good job, and then you just hit the PDF button and it will render it as a PDF, and then you can upload it that way. Okay, what I really need is for it to be in a PDF and as a single document. A lot of people will scan each page separately and submit them separately. That's no good. I need them all in one document. So, very important one document with each page, okay? So all of your pages are in one document, okay? Not one document per page, but one document total, okay? And it needs to be a PDF. Needs to be a PDF. JPEGs, no good. PDFs display better on my iPad when I grade these things, and I need to be able to do this efficiently without having to sit there and convert 25 students, or however many people are signed up here, 22 students documents from a JPEG to a PDF, or from a Word doc to a PDF. It becomes a mess. Submit them as a PDF. If everybody does their own, makes this work very wonderfully. That's why I like Notes and Cam Scanner, because you can do that right within the app, or at least that's what I've heard with Notes. But Cam Scanner, you certainly can. Now, with these apps, it may be difficult to upload the images directly from your phone if you have a phone. If you don't have a phone, well, actually, let's go back to that. Uploading, you do need to upload the assignment in e-learning under the Activities tab on the top. So when you go into your class in e-learning, you'll find the test and activities. Then you click on Assignment Dropbox. It'll be there. That's where you access the test, and that's also where you submit the test. Okay. It may be kind of hard to do that on a phone. Sometimes e-learning is a little bit inconvenient to work with. So if you have to, you can always email yourself the document and then go to a computer and upload it from there. That's why I'm giving you an hour to submit these things. Okay, I'm sure many of you have done this kind of stuff for many other classes, and it's probably not unfamiliar at this point. But I want to give you the time in case you haven't, or in case you don't have, quite the efficiency as other people. So no big deal. Just make sure you can do it within an hour. Make sure you have your apps on your phone before you start the test. Don't sit there and try to download these apps after you've done the test and you're trying to get it submitted. Okay. Make sure you have everything set up ahead of time. So make sure it's all in one document. It's in the form of a PDF. Otherwise, there's really nothing I can do with it. Okay. Really need those two things to occur. Make sure the images that you take are actually good images. A lot of times I'll get some really dark shadows from people as they put their phone over the page, and it will have a big rectangle that's unreadable. Make sure you don't have that. Make sure it actually looks good. You have some lighting where it, if you don't use Cam Scanner, which will help to get rid of those shadows, make sure you have some lighting in which those don't occur. So just make it look nice. It's presentable. Otherwise, you're gonna have some points deducted because I'm not gonna know what you're writing. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, if you don't have a cell phone, or if you don't have the ability to take the image with your phone, you can scan the test. You could run it through a printer scanner sort of scenario. Scan it in and create a PDF that way. It's going to be different for everybody based upon their resources. Okay, but you do need to submit an electronic copy, handwritten. I do not want you to type your answers. Please don't type your answers. I want them handwritten answers. The other thing is, you could always use a tablet if you have like an iPad. You could use one of the apps on an iPad with like an Apple Pen and handwrite it that way and submit it make an electronic document and submit it that way. That would be acceptable. It's not typed. I want it handwritten, but it could be handwritten on a tablet and submitted, if that makes any sense. So there's a variety of options. And if you're watching this video and you're like, I can't do any of this stuff, email me. I'll try to give you some other options, or maybe ask you some questions about what technology you have available to you, and then maybe we can work from there. Worst case scenario, I don't know what worst case scenario is. I'm thinking I got to proctor it or something and have you do a video of you taking the test. I don't know. Let's not try to go there. So anyway, we'll try to figure it out, but email me and I'll make some adjustments if needed here. So anyway, that's the background on how to submit the test, how to take the test, when to take the test, right? It's Thursday the 30th between 8 a.m. and midnight roughly. Make sure to take the test. You get a 3-hour window, get it submitted. Now, things you need to know for the test are important as well. And so basically to this point in the course, we've covered 3 chapters. They are chapters 2, 3, and 5. Okay, chapter 2 was on sets. Chapter 3 was on logic. And chapter 5, and really we didn't do much with chapter 5, just to be honest, but chapter 5 was on number theory. The sections in chapter 5 that we're going to cover are actually different than the ones that I have on the original schedule. I'm going to send out some information about that later, but on the original schedule for the course, I put sections 5.1 through 5.4. I'm going to change that. I'm just going to do 5.1 and 5.5, okay? And then I'm going to give some supplemental material that I'm actually not going to test you on, but I'm going to give you some worksheets to work through, okay? Some topics that really aren't in our textbook. And that is kind of a problem with a couple of the topics in this class. Our textbook is a really nice textbook, I'm just going to say that, but it is missing some things because the course wasn't developed around the book. The course was developed, and then we chose a book that we thought worked best to hit those topics, but there are some things missing. And so I'm going to give you some supplemental material that's related to number theory, really on the Fibonacci sequence and some modular arithmetic, a couple other things. But anyway, that's I'll give you some more information about that. So anyway, the parts of chapter 5 that we're going to be working with are really just 5.1 and 5.5. Okay, I think I have those prepared on my math lab. Anyway, so you're going to need the sets, the logic, and the number theory stuff. That's going to be the test. And all this stuff should be due before Thursday. It should be all due the Sunday before, this coming Sunday, which is the 26th, right? So all that stuff should be due the 26th. Anyway, there shouldn't be any problem there. There are some things that you're going to need to know how to do. Venn diagrams, right? You're going to need to know truth tables. You're going to need to know how to calculate least common multiples and greatest common divisors. You're going to need to know De Morgan's laws, both in set form and in logic form. You should know how to find equivalent statements. How to work with negations and contrapositives and converses and who knows, conjunctions and disjunctions and all that stuff, right? How to translate sentences into symbolic form and vice versa. Make sure that you know how to work with intersections and unions and complements of sets. I think I mentioned Venn diagrams. How to work with different number systems, right? Like the real number system. We'll talk about some the different organization of the real numbers, and I don't know. There's other things, but make sure you're able to do those things. I won't be giving you formulas on the test. There's not a lot of formulas other than maybe De Morgan's law and those greatest common divisor formula, stuff like that. But just make sure that you're able to do those things. You can use a graphing calculator. It's not going to be real helpful other than maybe a slight bit of arithmetic. But do have a calculator with you when you take the test. It's really the only technology you'll be allowed to have. I'm not allowing you to Google anything. Don't use a search engine. Don't use the internet. Don't use any apps on your phone. They're not going to be very helpful anyway because you're not going to be solving equations really. You're just you're really looking at translating and truth tables. Those aren't really things you can get off of the internet anyway, typically. So anyway, just be aware of that. And if you guys have any questions at all on where to find the test, how to take the test, how to submit the test, and what's on the test, let me know in an email. Hopefully I covered it all in this video. If not, or if I'm missing something, please do let me know.